What's going on, everybody? You have Tone here, bringing you guys my team builder in battle for week number 11 of Season 2 of the PCL, where this week your Miami Malamarlins are taking on the Reno Raikous, coached by Kohanix. His links and stuff will be in the description down below, as well as all the other coaches in the league, as well as a link to the Discord server, fan server, where you can chat with myself along with the other coaches, all of that good stuff. So, this team builder in battle will be a little bit rushed because I've already tried multiple times to record this, and it should have been up since Saturday, and for some reason, it wasn't recording everything. So for time constraint purposes, I'm going to try to keep this as short as I possibly can while trying to be in depth as possible. So if you guys missed last week, we took on the Lawrence Talon Flames. We did lose that game 2-0. So this is pretty much a make or break week for us, as if we win this game, we clinch a spot in the playoffs. If we lose, that means we have to win our last game of the season to have a chance of keeping our playoff hopes alive. So this is a very, very important matchup for myself, as well as my opponent, Kohanix, who took over for Kurt, who was supposed to be playing this game. He dropped a few weeks ago. And Kohan took over the team, made some changes, and he has been doing a fantastic job with this team. He actually has not lost since he picked up his team and made these adjustments and whatnot. So he is just on a tear. And not to mention, he is also the defending PCL champion. So that's not really a good sign for me right off the bat. But in any case, I am going to try my best to pull this game out, try to clinch my spot in the playoffs, all that good stuff. So, you see the team that I'm prepping for is essentially a rematch from week number 2. I did win that game 3-0. The strategy is a little bit different from the last time, although the team I am bringing this week is the same 6 Pokemon from the time back at week number 2, with some slight variations here or there. So his team consists now of the Weavile, Tangrowth, Heliolisk, Arcanine, Gastrodon, Musharna, Pheromosa, Drapion, Togekiss, Latios, and Mega Aggron, with his Zmons being the Latios and the Musharna. So, quickly run down the team really quick. I have a Life Orb, Tank Clefable, almost a Musharna, Softboil, Moonblast, Fire Blast, and Encore. This is the exact same set I brought back in week number 2. The only difference is I'm running a lot more bulk, as last time I was running enough speed for Mega Ampharos, which is obviously not here anymore. Max HP to take hits as spells as I possibly can. 20 speed to just speed creep Mega Aggron, trying to creep my Clefable. And the rest is just throwing in special attack. Moonblast as Fire Blast does a lot of damage to his team. I can 2 KO Mega Aggron on the switch with Fire Blast, which is fantastic, and his Moonblast switching is essentially just the Arcanine. So if he does bring the Arcanine, obviously I can't do much to it, but at the same time, if he's defensive, he can't do much back to me. So next up is Seismitoads with Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Ice Punch, Drain Punch, max HP, 196 defense, 60 special defense. The HP and the defense investment lets my Seismitoad avoid being 2 KO'd by Choice Banded, not Banded. It's either Banded or Life Orb, Icicle Crash from Weavile off the rocks. And the rest is thrown in special defense to take hits from stuff like Togekiss. This is a bit different from the last time. The only difference is I now have Drain Punch over Protect. Drain Punch is nice to get back health on stuff like Weavile. I can Drain Punch the Mega Aggron and get some damage off on that as well. Everything else is pretty much straightforward. Earthquake for stab coverage and Ice Punch to hit stuff like the Togekiss. Then I have my Aegislash here. Pretty much the exact same set as last time. I think the only difference is the EV spread, where I have a little bit less attack investment. I put some in my defense. So I'm running 36 defense EVs with max HP. This guarantees I live a Life Orb knockoff from Weavile from full. And the rest is just thrown into attack. Just a very solid win con in general. I can Iron Head, get some chip down on stuff like the Iron Head down the Musharna, set up on that potentially, and then Shadow Sneak just to pick off stuff like Pheromosa. Very straightforward set, nothing much to say about that. Then I have my Mega Gallade, Bulk Up, Drain Punch, Ice Punch, Shadow Sneak. I'm pretty sure this is the exact same moveset. The only difference is the EV spread. I am running max speed, but I am not Jolly Nature. I'm only running enough speed to guarantee outspeed the Drapion, and the rest is thrown into attack with an adamant nature to give my Gallade as much pop to its attack as possible. I do not care. I'm not going to try to speed tie the Latios because I have Shadow Sneak to pick that thing off in a weakened state. Drain Punch to get back health, Ice Punch for the Togekiss, and everything else that resists fighting on Kohan's team. Then I have my Nihilego with the exact same moveset as last time. The only difference is I now have Hidden Power fighting over Foul Play, as Foul Play was for the Nidoking and the Bronzong, which is no longer here. And instead I have Hidden Power fighting to deal with the Mega Aggron, get some chip damage off on that. Power Gem plus Sludge Wave hits everything else on his team very, very hard. Toxic Spikes aren't going to be that really useful in this matchup considering there is no Finny, but it is nice to get some chip damage off on the Musharna and the rest of his bulky mons like the Arcanine. So basically max HP and the special attack to be 1 point lower than my speed, so I guarantee a speed boost, and the rest is through into defense to take hits from stuff like Weavile's Ice Shard if I need to. And then lastly is my Crobat, which was choice banned the first time I brought it. This time it's going to be a more bulkier set. Taunt, Roost, Super Fang, and Brave Bird with max HP, well near max HP, 44 attack, 220 in speed. Speed remains to be enough for Weavile. I can taunt his bulkier stuff, preventing him from going for like setup moves, recovery. Super Fang is nice for getting off chip damage on the Aggron, as Nihilego just looks very, very nice in this matchup, and then Brave Bird is just nice and spammable against everything else on his team. So, yeah, that is the team builder. Again, sorry, this is a bit rushed, but I am kind of pressed for time here. So, with all that out of the way, let's just skip to the battle and see how we do. Alrighty guys, so here you are with the match against Kohanix and his Reno Raikous, and he did end up bringing a sort of similar team to what I was expecting. The only real difference that I really thought he would bring is the Togekiss. I thought Togekiss would come over the Drapion or Musharna in some variation, but he instead decided to bring the Pheromosa, the Mega Aggron, the Latios, the Arcanine, the Drapion, and the Weavile. Seeing the Drapion means that getting up my Toxic Spikes are not going to be as helpful in this game. It would help against the Arcanine, but above all else, nothing else, for the most part. Also, just looking at it from a matchup standpoint, if I'm able to weaken the Aggron or get rid of it outright, Nihilego does put in a lot of work, considering he did not bring Gastrodon, as it was the only thing on his team that resists its dual stab not named Mega Aggron. So that's going to be very, very helpful. So yeah, just looking at the lead matchup here, I figured it'd be my best interest to just try to lead off with my Seismitoad, get up my rocks early to really pressure the stuff like Arcanine and Weavile as best I possibly could. And I didn't really have much else of a counterplay as far as I'm concerned here, so I figured, like I said, Seismitoad was my best lead, because if he led off with something like the Mega Aggron, I get chip damage off on that, so kind of like depending on what he led off with, I would adjust my strategy from there. So he ends up leading up with Pheromosa. Does make sense here. He is able to get off a fast U-turn on my Seismitoad, revealing his life form. But here I'm actually just going to click Ice Punch here, as I value trying to get damage off on something, as I do catch the Latios coming in on the Ice Punch, get some damage off, and I'm actually going to get the Freeze turn 1, which I'm not going to lie, that sucked immensely, because as you see, he's going to remain frozen here as I'm going to go for another Ice Punch here, because Latios actually was a big problem for this team in particular, given the right coverage moves, as he's going to unfortunately remain frozen. I'm going to knock out the Latios with the Ice Punch. So yeah, I got really fortunate RNG in my favor from the get-go, which I really, really did not want to happen in that regard here. But he's going to go back out into Pheromosa here, go for U-turn again, as I am going to fire off an Earthquake, because Latios was his ground immunity. So I value getting off damage on something that came in over getting on my rocks here. While rocks were very, very helpful, but at the same time, though, getting damage off was also helpful as well. He's going to go for a knockoff here and avoid, as I'm going to avoid getting knocked out from the knockoff, and we take out the Drapion with the Earthquake here. So right away, Seismitoad picking up 2 kills off the bat as he now goes back into Pheromosa. He's going to finish off my Seismitoad with the Ice Beam. I had no reason to try to preserve my Seismitoad there as it more or less already did its job. So now I'm going to go into my Crobat here, even though he already revealed Ice Beam. And here I'm going to, I believe, go for a Brave Bird. Yeah, I think I'll go for Brave Bird here as he goes out into the Arcanine here. So like I said, I was just trying to get some damage off on something. If he went Aggron, I just Super Fang or Taunt the next turn. So revealing he's leftovers, this is a more defensive Arcanine here. And here I'm going to make a play and go out into my Nihilego. He makes a very solid play and goes directly for the Bulldoze, expecting me not to want to stay in with my Crobat because I needed Crobat as my quote-unquote Pheromosa check and my response to Weavile. So he catches my Nihilego here, doesn't knock me out with the Bulldoze, so he's now going to double out into his Aggron. I'm going to go back out into my Crobat, which is totally fine here because I'm now going to go for the Taunt as he is going to Mega Evolve his Aggron. To be honest here, I probably could just went straight for the Super Fang here, as I don't really care about rocks being up on my side of the field because the only thing weak to rocks on my field was this Crobat. So he's just going to go for the raw Heavy Slam here, so I'm now going to go for a Super Fang. Get off half damage to this Aggron. He's going to fire off another Heavy Slam and take out my Crobat, which does suck, but at the same time, I now get a free switch out into my Mega Gallade. And here I'm going to go for a free, essentially go for a free bulk up here, because I know he's going to want to preserve the Mega Aggron, because he needs this thing for the Clefable and for my Aegislash here. So I'm going to go for the bulk up here. Here I kind of got a little bit greedy in terms of setting up here, because I'm going to go for a Drain Punch here. Ideally, what I could have did instead was gone out into my Clefable, as he's going to Will-O-Wisp me. Like, I figured the Will-O-Wisp play was so obvious, but I decided to stay in because I valued getting damage off on this, because it was another thing that stood in the way of my Aegislash potentially winning the game. So like I said, I could have gone out into Clefable there, because literally his Moonblast switch-in did not exist. Like, if he went Aggron, Moonblast and the Fire Blast would have knocked it out. So, yeah, it was just kind of like pick your poison in that regard. So these next couple of turns are just going to be it's just going to be kind of me trying to keep this Arcanine low, quote-unquote low, with the combination of Drain Punch and Bulk Ups and whatnot. So, it's kind of a stally fest between me recovering health with Drain Punch and him going for Morning Sun. I am eventually going to lose this exchange here with my Mega Gallade, which does suck because of the fact that I kind of had a feeling that this won right away, but I got a little bit too greedy in terms of picking my spots in terms of setting up with my Mega Gallade for the most part. So I am going to lose this exchange. He's going to Bulldoze me to ensure that he is now faster than my Mega Gallade. So the following turn he can Morning Sun up, and then I'm going to eventually die to the combination of Burn plus Fire Blast, as he's going to Morning Sun here, just try to keep himself as high as health as possible. I Drain Punch here, hoping to get like a crit or something. Not going to happen. And now he's going to go for the Fire Blast, I believe, this turn. Yeah, he goes for Fire Blast and knocks out my Gallade, which does suck. But this does allow me to get a free switch back into my Nihilego, because he already revealed to not have the extreme speed on the Arcanine. Like, I know his entire moveset, but he's actually going to make a aggressive play and go out into his Weavile on my Power Gem. Like, I didn't really think he would make that sort of play, but I guess he was just trying to play the aggressor here as I get the speed boost here, and he makes another mistake. Essentially, he missed my Nihilego getting a speed boost this turn, and he essentially just lost his Pheromosa, which was his only other way of dealing with my Clef. Well, I say that in hindsight, but now he goes on the Mega Aggron here. I miss out on the kill with the HP fighting, as he's actually going to reveal the rest. So, yeah, killing this Mega Aggron is going to be a lot more difficult than I had hoped, but luckily I am going to fire off another HP fighting here. This damage kind of reveals that he's more of a max defense set, as I felt like that's going to do a lot less damage here. He is going to Sleep Talk and get the Heavy Slam and knock out my Nihilego, which is fine because I now get to go out into my Clefable, and hopefully not miss Fire Blast, and luckily we don't, and we're going to knock out the Mega Aggron with the Fire Blast, and all he has left now is this Arcanine, which I eventually can now just stall it out, because I know his movesets is Will-O-Wisp, Morning Sun, Fire Blast, and Bulldoze, and the combination of those moves alone aren't going to be enough to get past my Clefable, because Bulldoze isn't going to do anything to my Clefable, and on top of that, I have means of healing myself with Soft Boiled, and I essentially can PP Saw him out of Fire Blast too, so basically he would have to bank on Will-O-Wisp Burn plus a bunch of other factors. Like, he literally has to get past the Clefable to get to my Aegislash, because I have no reason to go Aegislash here, as essentially my Aegislash essentially wins the game if I keep this thing low. Like, the entire point of this exchange is basically keeping this thing low enough to the point where I can then go Aegislash if he finds a way to get past my Clefable. I go Arcanine, I click Shadow Sneak, and I knock it out here. But I'm gonna catch him here with the Encore as he tries to heal up with Morning Sun. So I essentially got that play correct, and he's gonna actually end up forfeiting, because essentially what would have happened is I would have encored him out of Morning Suns. He would have had no means of recovery outside of leftovers, and that plus the combination of me getting Moonblast special attack drops, so Fire Blast was doing even less. Bulldoze wasn't going to do that much damage. He lost his recovery, so even if he burned my Aegislash, I still got essentially the +6, and I would have won with +6 burnt Iron Head into burnt Shadow Sneak, if I recall correctly. But nonetheless, we are going to, this is essentially going to be a 2-0 win. The kill is going to go to Clefable on the Arcanine, so yeah. Not the way I wanted to clinch a playoff spot, especially considering what happened early on with the turn 1 Ice Punch freezing the Latios. That was really, really unfortunate. Him missing my Nihilego getting a speed boost also set him back too, because he essentially sacked off his Pheromosa, which really put a dent on my team, especially considering that I lost my bulk so early on in the match. So yeah, that really, really sucks for Kohan, and yeah. Nothing much else to say about this game. It's just another instance where RNG plays a role in a game where it really, really matters to both sides, and nothing much else you could do about it. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. This is going to be my Week 11 game. We are now 7-4. We clinched our playoff spot with this win, so our Week 12 game won't matter as much, but I'm still going to try my best to at least end the season 8-4. If I don't, it's fine. The playoffs are my main priority at this point, now that I've clinched a spot. So yeah, that's going to be it from me, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until the next time, this is Tone, signing off for now. Peace out.